Alright everyone, time for the last episode look today, and that is the Doomsday Machine. Let's do this. The Federation starship USS Enterprise, following a trail of planets that had been destroyed by unknown means, receives a distress call from her sister ship, the USS Constellation. On arrival, they find the Constellation severely damaged and the bridge uninhabitable. Captain Kirk, Chief Medical Officer Dr. McCoy, Chief Engineer Scott, and a damage control team transport to the ship to evaluate her, and in auxiliary control discovered the only member of the crew still aboard, Commodore Matt Decker, her captain, who was suffering from mental trauma. Through an anguished Q&A with Kirk, Decker explains that they had discovered a giant machine miles long that used beams of antiprotons to tear apart planets and consume the debris, fueling its process through this sector of the galaxy. He had ordered the Constellation to attack the machine, but the ship suffered heavy damage from the planet killer. Decker had evacuated his crew to one of the planets of the star system, but was aghast when the machine destroyed it. Kirk theorizes the machine may be an ancient Doomsday Machine, inadvertently activated, and they must find a way to stop it before it reaches more populated sectors of the galaxy. McCoy takes Decker back to Enterprise while Scott's damage control team attempt repairs on the Constellation's impulse engines and shields. Kirk attends to the Constellation's non-functional view screen, which will be his only means of monitoring events outside the ship, besides descriptions from Enterprise. Enterprise detects the approach of the planet killer, its presence disrupting communications with Starfleet and Constellation. On learning of the approach of the machine, Decker pulls rank of First Officer Spock, assumes command, and orders Enterprise to attack it. The attack fails to damage the machine, and Enterprise itself takes damage to its transporter system. Then Enterprise is caught in a tractor beam and is drawn towards the Doomsday Machine's maw. Kirk completes his repair of Constellation's view screen and is shocked to see Enterprise attacking the alien craft with phasers. He and Scott are able to use the Constellation to distract the machine long enough for Enterprise to escape. After repairing the transporter and re-establishing voice communications, Enterprise retreats to a safe distance. Spock leaves Decker of command on Captain Kirk's orders, and Decker is escorted to sickbay. However, Decker knocks out his escort and steals a shuttlecraft, driving straight into the maw of the Doomsday Machine. Although he looks horrified as he is about to be swallowed by the planet killer, he does not deviate from his course, despite Kirk's and Spock's pleading to turn back, and the shuttle explodes within the machine. Lieutenant Sulu reports that the explosion has reduced the planet killer's power output by a small amount. Kirk comes up with a plan to rig the Constellation as a bomb, reasoning that Decker had the right idea but not enough power to accomplish his goal. Kirk insists on piloting the ship into the machine over Mr. Spock's objections. Scotty rigs the impulse engines with a 30-second time delay before detonation, warning his captain that once the timer is started, there is no way to stop it. With the rest of the boarding party transported back to the Enterprise, now at safe distance from the machine, Kirk aims the Constellation for the maw of the Doomsday Machine, triggers a timer, and orders the Enterprise to beam him aboard. However, the transporter is still working, with glitches left from Scotty's previous hasty repair and it malfunctions. Scotty races to set it right, taking advice from Mr. Spock to get it working again. With no time to spare, Captain Kirk is beamed aboard the Enterprise as the Constellation explodes inside the planet killer, leaving it a hulk adrift in space. Its threat ended. Well, that's good. Anyway, let's look at the production elements of the story. Episode writer Norman Spinrad based the script on a novelette, The Planet Eater, that had been rejected by a number of publishers. He revived the idea when he had a chance to pitch it to executive producer Gene Roddenberry. Spinrad had written the script with actor Robert Ryan in mind to play Commodore Decker, but Ryan was unavailable owing to prior commitments. Some sources hold that the episode was influenced by Fred Saberhagen's series of Berserker stories, a series of robot killing machines built as a doomsday device by a now-vanished race to wipe out their rivals. However, author Norman Spinrad denies the influence. I wasn't conscious of the Saberhagen stuff when I was doing this, but I was certainly conscious of Moby Dick. And actually, my unpublished novelette, which was the genesis of the Doomsday Machine, was written before the Saberhagen stuff. Secondary sources in the Star Trek canon refer to the devices as a berserker. According to one source, model for the USS Constellation was an off-the-shelf model, while other sources claim that the smallest and least detailed Enterprise professional model was altered for the episode. It had also been stated that the Constellation's hull ID number of 1017 came from simply switching the digits of an Enterprise model's 1701 whole numbers. The episode was written as a bottle episode, i.e., one that could use existing ship sets to save time and money. According to Spinrad, the episode was so well received by Roddenberry that he commissioned him to write another for comedian Milton Berle, who planned to do a dramatic turn on the show titled He Walked Among Us. This is one of the few Star Trek episodes in the second season for which original music was written, in this case a full score by Sol Kaplan. Writer James Lilix notes that the music cues for this episode are intended to belong together, and that's one of the reasons the episode works like few others. It has a unique symphonic score. Played start to finish, it holds together. Jeff Bond notes, although he wrote only 2 scores for the series, New York composer Sol Kaplan's music was tracked endlessly throughout the show's first 2 seasons. Both Lilix and Bond pointed out similarities between this music and John Williams' award-winning score for Jaws a decade later. The music for this episode was collected, along with score for Amok Time, on the second release from Crescendo Records of music from the series, the first release other than music from the pilot episodes. Well, overall, a pretty solid episode, and with a very strong ending. I give the Doomsday Machine 5 warp cores out of 5. Well, join me tomorrow as we take a look at Cat's Paw. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.